Hi and welcome to this reading. Today's reading, I've been pulling through some energy in and around the symbolism of Daniel's 70 weeks. Now, it's not a particular story that I was very familiar with. I had to do a little bit of research, but I found some interesting correlations, interesting synchronicities with this year, 2025. So I'm going to pull some cards on it. I'm just going to get a few cards first and just tap into this energy and see where we go. Let me get an angel first. Who is walking with us in this particular journey? These particular messages that are coming through. I'm going to get the cards out first, and then I'm going to give you... Oh, Samuel. That's the devil. Samuel. Goodness. Death and fetching souls. And 67 EAL, truth. Probably pronunciation of those is dreadful, but... And then we've got Sital, protection from harm. That's the Three of Wands. As I said, that's the Devil card. Wow. That is crazy, given the messages that are coming through. The Eight of Cups, which is Saturn in Pisces, which is walking away. Learning a spiritual lesson. Protection from harm. Okay, let me get some more cards. What do I want to get? I think I want to get one of those. This is my favourite things deck. Okay, the War of the Roses is what I just heard. The War of the Roses. Anything else from here? Oh, and a star. Something fated. I'm pretty sure that's a checkerboard star. It's a big print box that I've got. What's happening might end up in the print, in the press. The War of the Roses. A checkerboard. 5 stars. 5 is change. Turtle. On the bottom, lead light. A lead light turtle. Something that's been happening over a long period of time. Now, give me a second because I don't like it when they're crooked. But I've got so many cards here. Protection from harm. Taking a long time to resolve. Samuel. Okay, let's get one of these. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, partnership, wow. If you're returning, welcome back. A bit about me first. I am an intuitive tarot reader. I pick up on energy prior to a reading. Often comes through in songs, in synchronicities that I see repeating, through downloads, through messages, in dreams. And then I will come and use my tarot and oracle decks to further clarify those messages, or just to get some more information on what I'm picking up on. All of the decks that I use on my channel are my own designs because I am also an illustrator. And I want to get one of those. I'm also an illustrator. If you call to any of those, the links to them can be found in the description box. Divine intervention on the bottom. Wow. Okay. And I'm going to get one of these. Now, this is quite a big deck. This is my travel deck. I'm actually going to split it in half because it's just easier to shuffle that way. I'm going to get two cards. Okay. What's that card there? Let me just see if I can get that in there. Stay. Somebody's been told to stay. This particular deck. Wow. Okay. That's in Italy. That's a protest. Wow. And that's Ephesus. That's the Temple of Artemis. That's meant to be there. Let me So we've got some religious symbology coming through, which is actually perfect because that's what the messages are. So this is a new deck. This is a new deck. This is a new deck. What I actually did when I was 21, I went on a journey. If you think of 21, it's 3 sevens, 3 Abrahamic faiths. Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. I went on a journey. I worked overseas for 12 months in England, and then I did a big trip through Europe with he was my friend at the time, but he's now my husband. And we've got this big artwork on our wall, which kind of puts some of the places we visited. We kind of put it on this almost like a map, but it's a piece of art. Came back to Brisbane, flight delayed. Berlin. Somebody not playing nice. Barcelona, Paris, Tokyo. Okay, I'm going to give you the messages that I got. So, Daniel 9:24. It's a passage in the Bible where Daniel, who is a prophet, if you think of Daniel, I think of Daniel in the lion's den. He was somebody who interpreted dreams. He interpreted messages from God. He was somebody chosen to do that by God. And there's a whole heap of dreams that he tried to interpret on his own. And then Angel Gabriel basically came to him and helped him out. So Daniel 9:24, it talks about Daniel's 70 weeks, 7 by 70. Now in the Bible, a week is the equivalent of a year. So 7 by 70 is 490 years. And if we look at 2025, and we minus 490 years, it takes us back to a previous Pluto and Aquarius transit that happened in 1535. So Pluto and Aquarius transit is something that happens every 245 years. It's a period in time where there is major revolutionary change. At that particular time, the Sistine Chapel was being built. There had been major revolutionary change because of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. Henry VIII, because he wanted to marry her, had essentially changed the whole church in England from Catholic, so attached to the Sistine Chapel, from Catholic to Protestant. Huge spiritual change, unrest, huge unrest. Deaths, killings, lots of things happening at that particular time. The War of the Roses. Interestingly, Henry VIII's father, because he became king, because his brother had passed away, but his father had stolen the crown. We're talking 1535. His father had stolen the crown at the end of the 1400s in a battle that was called the War of the Roses. If you think of the Tudor Rose, and he ended up marrying somebody and united these two kingdoms. But his first son passed away. His first son was made king, and then he passed away. I think a year into the marriage, he was married to Catherine of Aragon, and then she had to marry Henry VIII. And that was all the argy-bargy. But it came from this War of the Roses. That crown was stolen. And so subsequently, because we take it up to 1535, which is when the painting of the Last Judgment was painted on the walls of the Sistine Chapel. That's when that painting was done. The Last Judgment, Judgment Day, 1535, is Daniel's 70 weeks, because it is 70 by 70, which is 490 years up until 2025. Things that have happened in the past that affect things that are happening in the future. The King of England, because there's lots of 7 references in here. The King of England is 77 this year. Berlin, World War II, and everything that happened in and around there within the horrific things that happened to the Jewish people. The birth of Israel, 77 years this year. And then we've got protesting, which is what's happening at the moment, divine intervention. Okay. There's also symbolism here with the number 99, because in that page in the Bible, Daniel 9:24, it's on page 954 of my Bible. A 9 and a 5 and a 4 is a 9. This year is the 999 portal, which is endings and beginnings. The War of the Roses, some sort of ending to something that's been going on a long time. Flight delayed on the bottom here. Now in Daniel 8:15, which is further along in that passage, Gabriel, divine intervention, Gabriel comes in and explains the vision that Daniel had. essentially 8:15, he explains that it means the end of the world. The end of the world is as we know it, not the end of the world, but the end of the world as we know it. And I'm just going to read because it's just easier. 7 times 70 years is the length of time God has set for freeing your people and your holy city from sin and evil. That's 490 years. 490 years from when the Last Judgment was painted on the Sistine Chapel wall. Sin will be forgiven and eternal justice established, so that the vision and the prophecy will come true, and the holy temple will be rededicated. If we think about what's happening currently, the protests around the world, and what's potentially happening currently in Israel, they're wanting to build the third temple on the grounds of where the second temple was destroyed. But in order to do that, they have to destroy the Dome of the Rock. Note this and understand it. From the time the command is given to rebuild Jerusalem until God's chosen leader comes, 7 times 7 years will pass. Jerusalem will stand for 70 times 62 years. Now, 7 times 62 years is 434 years, which takes us back to 1969, which was the War of Attrition. I don't really know much about. 69 was when Yasser Arafat was elected. But if you add up the 490 years, the 70 by 7, 490 and the 434, which is the 7 by 62, you actually get 924, which is Daniel 9:24, which is where we're reading from. 924 would be September the 24th, Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. God rested after working 6 days. Now, the other thing I put in was Daniel into Gematria. Daniel 79 and 270. 79 is oil. And when I wrote that down, all I heard was black gold Texas tea. And in Strong's Concordance, it means wrestle, light particle dust, and sister. 270 is fox, boom, Enoch, Ariel, and bridge. In Strong's Concordance, to seize or to possess, to reap, to mow down. And it aligns with James 5:4, which again is a 9. The Sabbath, which is that 7th. So God rested he worked for 6 years and then he rested for the 7th. Because you're not meant to work on the Sabbath. 969, tower, something coming crashing down. And beryl, a precious stone of pale green colour. Now, number 9 is completion, divine judgment, spiritual gifts. And then I got the 9th of Av. So let's have a look at these cards. I was getting that, my home in Budapest. To you, I'd give it all. Give me just one reason why Okay. I'm going to get some information on these angels. Death and fetching souls, the devil. There's a devil here. Now, what's happening, what's playing out collectively, the things that we can see on our TVs, on social media, that sort of stuff, is meant to be a guide for us because similar things will be playing out on a smaller level, or maybe, for you personally, on a larger level within your own life, in and around your own life. Protests at work. Protests within family, people squabbling, divine intervention. So this particular angel here is a protector angel, soul guardian for those born 12:40 a.m. to 1 a.m., moral guardian for those born the 22nd of March, the 2nd of June, the 13th of August, the 24th of October, or the 4th of January, and physical guardian for those born the 30th of March to the 3rd of April. Protect against adversaries. Truth. Wow. This angel gives consolation in adversity, provides wisdom, rules over change, the preservation of monuments and long life, and has influence over the occult sciences. Soul guardian for those born 10 p.m. to 10:20 p.m. Moral guardian for those born the 25th of May, the 5th of August, the 16th of October, the 27th of December, and the 9th of March. Physical guardian born for those born the 13th to the 17th of February. Divine intervention. Somebody's about to steal something here. This War of the Roses was something that was stolen. Death and fetching souls. Let's get a card. Ten of Wands, Ten to the end. What's happening in... the Sun just tried to come out. What's happening in the 3D? The Two of Cups, soul contract. And what's happening in the soul? Okay, the Seven of Swords. This is the Temple of Artemis, so a temple. And now I'm just talking about, you know, the messages of, you know, Daniel's 70 weeks, right? But this could be something that you have built, something that's come crashing down, something that was stolen from you. Deceptively, that's the Seven of Swords. You know, deep within, your soul knows that there was some sort of deception here. Potentially a contract that you have with somebody in terms of an agreement, an arrangement, and there's been something underhanded that's happened within it. A partnership that you've had with somebody. Something sneaky, death and fetching souls. Divine intervention is that God is aware, even though it's taken a long time. Even though it's taken a long time, or you feel like something isn't going to change, this deception is actually coming to the surface because the Ten of Wands is the end. It's karmic completion. Ten of Cups. Karmic completion of this spiritual journey that you've been on, locked into whatever contract that you have been in with whoever this is. This devil energy, because Samuel is the devil. Now, let's have a look at the outcome. We've got the World. That's karmic completion. And the Three of Cups, celebration. Karmic completion, the World. You have to have passed through judgment. Passed through the eye of Horus, I just heard. I don't really know much about Horus. I know that the gate of Anubis is that weighing up of your soul, and it's meant to be as light as a feather. But if you've pinched something, if you're trying to get through the airport with 20 kilos in a 10-kilo bag, you're going to get caught. Somebody's going to get caught here. King of Cups. I just heard lying in the arms of Mary again. Look, we've got the Devil and the Two of Swords. Something that's been hidden. King of Cups. King of Cups is Neptune in Pisces, which is something that's been hidden under the surface for a long time, is about to come to the surface. That's the Moon in Libra. Libra is balance. Two swords. 7 in Hebrew is a sword. Two swords. There's going to be some divine balance. And even the year 2025, we've got a 2 and then we've got 25, which is a 7. Two sevens. 7 is sword in Hebrew. Two swords. King of Cups. Please excuse the slamming of doors. They're not slamming. The doors in our house just make... a lot of noise when they close. They're being closed gently, but everything is a message because the slamming of doors. Interesting. Okay, let us get... Do I want to do that? Yeah, let's do that. 10, Three of Swords. There's been some pain in whatever this hardship has been, but it's about to change. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. How beautiful. That's 777. This contract... Divine intervention. Archangel Michael's sword of truth. Zayn, I think it is. Zayn, the Fool, a new beginning. This person, Samuel, this devil energy is going to be made to look like a fool. The Fool is a new beginning. Ace of Cups. That's a spiritual gift. Divine intervention is a spiritual gift. Black gold Texas tea. I was thinking this morning, and actually something came up in my feed. The sea off the coast of Gaza is actually Palestinian. So whoever controls Gaza owns the sea. Well, that sea is actually absolutely steeped with natural resources, with oil. Black gold Texas tea. And I did have that. Oil. To seize, to possess. Seven of Swords. There's an ending. There's somebody here that is deceptively trying to remove. If you think about the majority of the people in Gaza, we're just using that as an example, are children under the age of 18. Why? Because their parents have been removed, either in prison, blown up. Somebody who has created an environment where when these babies are born, they won't be able to survive. And 490 years from when the Last Judgment was painted on the Sistine Chapel wall is this year. Above the altar. It's above the altar. The altar is a sacrifice. We got the Seven of Swords on the Seven of Swords. Deception on deception. The Hierophant. God sees everything. The Ten of Cups here. Six of Pentacles. See it spinning? There's not balance. It's meant to be equal give and take. But it's not equal if somebody is taking and the other person is giving. The Four of Wands in the reverse, which is not a celebration, because the Four of Wands is a celebration card. It's Venus in Aries. She's gotten very cold all of a sudden. The Hangman, stuck energy. It's also an epiphany, but Seven of Cups, which is illusions, and the Two of Wands, stuck. Nowhere to go. That card here is very, very important. Nowhere to go. The Page of Cups. In this context is a card of innocence. Innocence stolen. Let's get the Mother Mary card. Assumption. That came out in the last reading. Body and soul united. It's almost, so when Mary went to heaven, that's the assumption of Mary. When Mary went to heaven, her body didn't stay on the earth. She ascended to heaven, body and soul. Body and soul united. Dog Rose, Mary's Thorn, and the Eternal Flame, Illumination. I was also getting Our Lady of Fatima this morning. That came through. The Virgin Flower, that's a card of innocence. There's an innocence. The devil has preyed on the innocence. Mutable moon, where nothing is carved in stone. So essentially this is a period of, I just heard the calm before the storm. And I'm getting that song, God is Watching Us from a Distance. That's Bette Midler. But the mutable moon is where the moon is changing from one sign to the next. So it's leaving one, but it's not quite in the next. It's like I said, the calm before the storm. The calm before the storm. Can I get you a guidance card? As I said, I know that this has come through as this Daniel 70 weeks, but I've just got to give you the messages that I'm getting. And that 490 years, 49 days. You might be dealing with somebody who's 49. Again, 49 is 7 by 7. The 7 number, 49. Jubilee is 50. Anything in here? Nope, nothing in there. What else do I want to get you? I think I'm just going to get you some Scrabble tiles. Letters and numbers in here. It does make a little bit of noise when I shake it. I'm just going to give it a quick shake. Just turn your volume down. If you've got hearing sensitivity, let's see what wants to come out. Okay. So we've got an S and a 1, an R and a 1, a D and a 2, a W and a 4, an O and a 1, an L, world, an L and a 1, a D and a 2, a H and a 4, a Q and a 10, an N and a 1, a Nuremberg, I just said Nuremberg, an E and a 1, a V and a 4, an A and a 1, a B and a 3, Boaz and Ruth. What is that story? Boaz, a Z and a 10, and a Y and a 4. Okay, 3 final cards. I think this is going to be one of these readings that kind of develops further as I go through my other readings. The 4 of Pentacles, which is the Sun in Capricorn. The 5 of Pentacles, being held back. Page of Swords, again, that number 7. This guy's on guard. Page of Swords is on guard. It's almost like not sure who to trust energy. And the 6 of Cups, not sure who to trust because they've been burnt before. Eternal flame, you've burnt me once before, Lumiere. That's what the feather duster says. Periwinkle, virgin flower. I feel like I need to get you another card, but all I know is there's something significant. The War of the Roses. There's something significant about the placements in the sky and the things that were built, the temples that were built. If you think of the Sistine Chapel, it is the equivalent of the holiest church in Christianity. And it was born, it was birthed. Again, wrong word. It was built 490 years ago this year, which aligns with Daniel's 70 weeks. Seven. That's what I've got for you. Any songs that I mentioned, I don't know whether I mentioned any. I'll pop in the description box. If you call to any of my tarot or oracle decks, the links to those can also be found in there. I'm deep in thought. I'm just going to get you my universe, Coldplay, BTS. Anything else? Okay. Gravity. Something always brings me back to you. It never takes too long. No matter what I say or do, I still feel you here till the moment I'm gone. Gravity. Something's coming back around. Something's coming back around. Checkers. I just heard God's cashing in. You know when you see somebody at a poker table, I don't gamble, but you see them pushing it. God's going all in. God's going all in on this devil energy. Interesting. Okay, that's what I've got. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you in another reading.